Right, let's do the news. And in our first story, the executive director of Amnesty International Ghana, Robert Akoto-Amoafo, has joined calls for the sanctioning of 2 lecturers implicated in the sex for grades scandal that rocked the University of Ghana. A fact-finding committee set up to investigate the matter concluded that 2 lecturers, Professor Ransford Jampo and Dr. Paul Butako, breached the university's code of conduct and statutes and recommended that they be made to face a disciplinary committee. Ms. Amanfo believes the sanctions must be swift in order to restore public confidence in the wheels of justice. There's more in this report.
The 16 days of activism against gender-based violence is an annual international campaign on elimination of violence against women. The campaign, which starts today, will end on 10th December, Human Rights Day. Amnesty International Ghana and the French Embassy have launched the Orange Your Campus campaign to create awareness on various university campuses on the subject of sexual abuse and challenge the youth to speak up. Executive Director of Amnesty International Ghana, Robert Akoto-Amoafo, called for more sanctions following BBC's Sex for Grade documentary, saying the procedure so far had been slow.
Some findings have come out of the committee's work, and now it's going to the disciplinary committee. We are looking forward that sanctions that are according to what they have done are given to them, so that it serves as a deterrent to any other person who decides to go that way. We want to show an example to the world that something has been done about this. It's not just the usual talk that we have. People hear there's a committee and something, and then we had a meeting, and then a report was launched, and we don't even hear about the report. Now we've heard the outcome. We want to see practical sanctions that would help us ensure that nobody goes that way again, that people see that the systems work, that when we say that there's a system, that it works. I think it was quite slow, and some of us are losing out on the process. I think that if it was faster, it would have helped us be very confident that once something is mentioned, people take action fast and show that they really, really value the situation. Many people do not report incidents of sex and rape because they don't trust the system. If we build a system that people know that if I report, my identity will be protected, people will continue reporting. It will not hide these issues of rape and sexual violence against them.
Representative of the French Embassy, Chapin Manion, said sexual abuse was not exclusive to Ghana and called for more education on sexual abuse.
You know, it doesn't just happen in Ghana. In France as well, we have a lot of sexual-based violence happening, and this is a scourge that we have to fight against. And what do we need is probably more education, because women and girls, they don't know their rights, and they don't even know that this is not appropriate and this is appropriate. So what do we need is sensitization and education to enable them to report to the police and then to say stop.
25 young people from 3 campuses were trained on how to support rape victims and educate their various communities and campuses on sexual offenses. Major partners for the campaign include the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit and the Ghana Police Service. PAC and Anaya Osafo's report for JoyNews.
Now, the opposition NDC is demanding the arrest and prosecution of Senior Minister Yaw Osafo-Maafo for what they describe as breaches of the country's procurement laws. The party, at a news conference Monday, cited a surcharge in excess of $1 million imposed on him, on the senior minister, by the Auditor General as enough evidence for the arrest. The party also wants government to terminate Yoko's probe of the audit service for procurement breaches, which they believe is an attempt to frustrate his efforts at checking corruption at all levels. Now, there's more in this report.
The Auditor General is currently in court challenging Yoko's investigation of his office. The NDC alleges this probe is a state-sponsored agenda aimed at removing Mr. Yaw Domolevo from office.
Would fair minds not be expecting him to protect the office of an Auditor General who has proven strong his support to the President's call to protect the public purse? The President, in that plagiarized speech, called for the support of everybody to help him protect public purse. And somebody comes out that the president has urged us to protect, and he's zealously protecting. Now the president says you have cut the wrong meat. So this one, this one they go slow.
The party wants the senior minister to be arrested and prosecuted.
The conduct of Ioku unacceptable in the sense that the anti-graft agency is comfortably inviting Yao Domolevo for questioning and granting him bail, but has refused or neglected to invite Yao Safo Mafo for the same breaches of the Public Procurement Act. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we cannot have two sets of laws in Ghana, one for the family and friends of President Akufo-Addo and another for all the other Ghanaians. If President Akufo-Addo fails to take action on this case of corruption by the senior minister, as we expect he will do, he will have cemented his image as the highest promoter of corruption in the history of Ghana.
Now, despite calls for the suspension of the December 17 referendum on the participation of political parties in local governance, some women activists are going ahead to campaign for the election of more women at the district level. These activists say political parties must be ready to field more women should the December 17 referendum be successful. Speaking at a forum on Monday on the topic increasing women's inclusion in the 2019 district level elections, a former staff of the Institute of Local Government Studies, Magdalene Kanai, said gender equality is the surest path to sustainable development and urged Ghanaians to vote more women to the Assembly and unit committees. There's more. Check this out.
Ghana is scheduled to elect a new set of district assembly members who will serve for another 4 years as required by the 1992 constitution. Women representation in district assemblies has continuously remained very low. Women have failed to attain the 30% UN recommended threshold in representation in the assemblies. The highest number of elected women in the district assemblies was in 2006, when 478 women were elected out of the total of 4,732. Star Ghana and Abantu for Development are therefore pushing for more women in the decision-making process. They are also pushing for the affirmative action bill to be passed into law. Magdalene Kanye is the former staff of the Institute of Local Government Studies.
It is important that we have both segments of the population to be part so that they can take inclusive decisions. Because when decisions are taken by one segment of the population, say, are only taking the decisions, they would naturally talking about issues that, will affect them or impact on their lives. But when we have both men and women, then the decisions that we take will be more inclusive and will take care of all the needs for both men and women. So what we must do is to try to encourage that women should be given an opportunity also, so that the media should try to still, try to convince our electorates so that they can vote for women and portray them as people who are capable of making a difference in the system.
One of the aspirants in the Municipal Assembly, Charlotte Strapon, outlined some of the challenges they face as women.
One of the challenges is when you go to your community, they need money. But when you give them money, I'll be telling them, when you give them money, later I win the seat. I didn't do anything later. What do you do? Because I buy your vote. But I'm praying that they should take time, have exercise patience. When I win the seat, the money, I'll use the money for the community. Because of the community, I came to be an aspirant. So I'm begging them, they should wait. We should use the money for the community.
There were also calls for clarity on the yes and no vote so that the disadvantaged people can understand and vote right. Ifwa Evans Chinri's report for JoyNews.
Now, just before we go, Kumasi's modern amusement center, Rattray Park, has received a facelift to meet demands of event organizers and patrons. Now, this follows a takeover by a new management for the recreation facility, whose construction under the previous government was characterized with controversy. Major developments include reactivation of the park's main attraction, which is the dancing fountain. Now, that ceased working following the theft of a USB device, which was said to contain operating software. Now, my colleague Ohimin Tevia has been looking into the changes at the facility, which has once again become the toast of merrymakers. And here's his report.
The $4.4 million park is the biggest in West Africa, inaugurated in 2015 by then-President John Dramani Mahama. Named after a Scottish colonial government anthropologist, Captain Robert Rattray, it sits on a 42,000-meter square land. A dome, swimming pool, artificial island and eatery are among other new additions to the park's components. It has become the most preferred choice for outdoor relaxation for many residents. The park's only fountain has not been working for some time now, after a USB drive containing operating software reportedly got missing. But the fountain is currently working to the admiration of many. With a new look, young and adult patrons can experience a full bouquet of recreational facilities. Isaac Owusu is Chief Executive Officer of Gold Print and Allied Services, new managers of the park.
It's a new Rattray Park now. Since we took over, we brought in other items like dome for corporate bodies, meetings, wedding reception, funeral receptions, and birthdays. So there's a dome. I think that one, you have capacity of 800, can take 800, sitting with everything. So it's there. I mean, it's very nice. And then the so-called fountain is working now. I mean, people were saying a lot of things, but now, by the grace of God, the fountain is working. There's a new ultra-modern swimming pool here, which is also good. And then from now on, we have bandstand, weekends, realization, and other things. And then there's food. I mean, local food, continental food, and everything. So right now, Rattray Park is something else.
Mr. O says upgrades of the park over 2 years will see introduction of additional modern fountains and Wi-Fi.
So it's good. We don't have such swimming pool in Kumasi. I know other people have swimming pool, but this one is different from others. We are not done yet. We are bringing new fountain. In fact, it's coming very soon. People will see new fountains with new colors and everything. Right now we have DSTV as well. You can just come and enjoy favorite European leagues or
renovation. It's a massive one. It's a good one, and everybody really likes it. Me, for instance, I really like it.
There's a lot of nature, and I have to say that I really enjoyed it, especially in a busy city like Kumasi, where there is so much things going on and so much traffic also. It is very nice to have a space of nature where you can go and then relax your nerves and free your mind.
Reporting.
Right, and it's a good place to end the bulletin, Rattray Park, but certainly it's only the beginning of the show. Mamabi joins me in a moment. We'll be going through all the newspapers and having our usual sparkling conversation right here. Stay with us.